A silent battle is unfolding. No, not on the battlefield, but inside highly guarded nuclear facility where there was no explosion or sirens. Yet the stakes are incredibly high. Ladies and gentlemen, at the center of this global tension is not oil, not territory, but uranium. Specifically, Iran's uranium, which has now become one of the most sensitive issues in the international politics. The reason behind this concern lies a process called enrichment. In a very simple terms, let me explain. Enrichment determines what uranium can be used for. At low level, uranium is used for peaceful purposes like generating electricity and running nuclear reactors, powering cities, industries without raising any sort of alarm. But as the level of enrichment increases, the nature of uranium, it changes dramatically. At about 90% purity, it kind of becomes weapon-grade material capable of being used in nuclear weapons. And that is where the global anxiety begins. What makes the whole situation even more intense is how close Iran is to that threshold. Reports suggest that Iran possesses a large stockpile of uranium enriched, that is about 60%, though it's not a weapon grade yet, but it is dangerously close. Only 40% left. In fact, the most difficult part of enrichment is reaching higher level, like 60%, which requires advanced technology, time, resources. And once that level is achieved, moving from 60 to 90, that becomes much faster, much easier. Now, this sharply reduces what experts call the breakout time, meaning the time needed to produce enough material for a nuclear weapon if a decision is made. And this is why the entire world is watching every move so closely. The concern is not just about what Iran is doing today, but what it could potentially do tomorrow. Even the capability to quickly reach weapon-grade level, it changes the strategic balance here. It creates uncertainty. It raises suspicion and increases pressure on global diplomacy. Now, this is where the geopolitical power game, it becomes even more complex. The United States, Russia and China, they all are deeply interested in how this whole situation unfolds. Each of them has its own strategic goals, influence, concern. Now, this is not simply cooperation. This is competition, a quiet but intense tug-of-war over influence, over control, and over future outcomes. Who shapes the Iran's nuclear path, it could influence the global power dynamics for years to come. Now, on its part, Iran continues to insist that its nuclear program is purely peaceful. It argues that it is focused on energy production, scientific development, and civilian use. However, in the world of nuclear politics, tension alone, they are not enough to build trust, right? Capability do matters as much as, if not more. Even if a country claims it has no plans to build a weapon, the ability to do so quickly has changed how others respond. And this is why trust around Iran's uranium, that remains fragile. Every action, every statement, every development is closely monitored and analyzed by global powers. Diplomatic talks, sanctions, inspections, negotiations, that all revolve around one central question: who controls the material and how it will be used in the future?